Hello everyone, let's see what details do we have. Okay, hope I am live. It's exactly 12. Let's wait for 2 to 3 minutes and let's continue. Live chat, I turned on the live chat and yes, I think this is good. Go ahead and post your questions, and my shirt is dominating the chat if I'm not wrong. Mute microphone, let's see. Go ahead and post your questions, and I hope you can listen to my voice. Let's hit it, guys. Today we have a lot of questions to discuss, and you can check all the questions that I am going to discuss today in the description of this live. And if you want to have any of your questions getting answered, go ahead and post them as well. We'll take them as well. Let's see what questions do we have first. Yes. Hello everyone. Hi. Hope you are doing good. Let's see. So what are we going to discuss in this today's meeting? So I did post, hi Ramakrishna, I did post a list of questions where someone is going for an interview today or tomorrow, and they asked me these questions and they want them to be answered. So let's go. I want to know about UiPath architecture. Ramakrishna says yes. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do questions one by one. Hi Vajrang, I'm not early working with UiPath, but I want to learn and move my career on UiPath. So how many years? How much? Okay, how many knowledge is required of C#? Well, let's take the questions one by one. Just a second. I'm okay. Hi Kapil, Jagpat. Hi Mani. I'm very much proficient in UiPath and other tools. What additional technologies I need to learn to effortlessly face fear? Okay, need to face interviews fearlessly. Okay. Before we go into the questions that I gave in, let's talk in the questions that Mani asked first, then Kapil, and then let's go with Ramakrishna, because Ramakrishna, to answer your question, it's a big thing, or it takes time. Okay, so Mani, when you are saying you are proficient in all the tools, then why should you have a fear in getting and facing the interview? I think you should mention what exactly is your fear in facing the interviews. What is your thinking on that? If you are saying that you are very much proficient, and if you are able to answer all your questions, and if you are also able to tell what, or if you are also able to deliver or provide a solution at that point of time, then you shouldn't have any fear in going and checking with the interviews. But if there is any other question, go ahead and ask me. But I wish you all the best for your interviews. Hope you get your next opportunity in the next interview. Kapil says, hi Vajrang, I am not early working. I think the spelling is wrong, but I don't get the exact spelling. But I want to learn UiPath, but want to learn move. Okay, so if you want to move into UiPath, see, this is the question that I always get, and I always answer one thing: if you are not into UiPath, that's fine. If you are not into RPA, that's fine. But if you are going to move into RPA, only thing that I would like to ask you is, you should analyze yourself why someone should hire you if you don't have RPA as your background. Okay, so to answer that question, what should you be flexible in doing? You should be able to create some projects, create some demo projects, or if you are able to implement any RPA work within your existing organization or within your, for example, I also bring up one more question, like if you are into pharmacy, like someone is into pharmacy industry and he want to move into RPA. So I asked him, why should someone hire you? Because you are into pharmacy, you don't have any related experience in RPA, how can you expect someone should hire you? And the answer also I gave is, see, there are many manual efforts or manual work that is into the any particular industry. If you are able to automate any of that work, I think that's where you can find your next opportunity. Either you can get the opportunity directly in your organization, or you can directly get the opportunity in some other organization which is related to pharmacy but it's trying to automate the things. That's how you need to think. You need to keep some marrying points. How can you use or utilize your experience which you already have, and what are you bringing onto the table for the for someone who is interviewing you? How well can you bring up your experience previously you have, and you can utilize RPA and any kind of tool within RPA, how you can give the solution. That's what really matters. So how many should I give any fake experience keeping UiPath or keeping any other tool? Well, uh, not suggested, but if you don't get any opportunities, I do believe that at this current point in the current market, everyone are looking only for 1 to 2 years of experienced people, and they are not looking for freshers. How can you deal with that? Again, show people that you are capable of doing the work that 1 or 2 years experienced people can do. That's how you can target them. And I have already asked, if you are able to do something, give it to me, and I can post that in my channel so that people can watch and view it and give their reviews. So that's how you need to be visible to everyone at this point of a time. At this point of time where people are not just looking at the resumes but also looking how things are going to be changed, or how are you going to bring in the experience that you have. That's what people are checking really. If you are a fresher, you will have very less expectations. If you ask me, they will give you 6 months to 1 year of time to learn, to adapt to the culture and to understand what IT is. But if you are already showing that you are having 2 to 3 years of experience within your resume, then obviously there will be high expectations and how you will answer the questions. I think, Kapil, I answered your question, but how many years of C# you require? Well, it's not only about C#, it's about how you also code. It's see, when people say they are working on RPA and it's very less code, it's not true actually. Saying that if you want to automate few things in the initial cases like sending an email, sending and writing a small logic, that can be done. But once you move further and once your project gets matured, that's not the condition. That's not how it will work. Hope I answered your questions. Hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so that I can get to know if you what's your feedback. Okay, and Bibundyanath says, can you explain how can you explain the project step by step? Cool, man. I'll definitely do that. Let's go with UiPath architecture. So when we say UiPath architecture, we need to think on multiple things. It's not only one tool, it's on multiple tools. So Ramakrishna, this is a question, this question is from you, and here is the answer. Well, there should be a server which hosts orchestrator, and also there should be a server which hosts our bots. Okay, now what orchestrator is used for? Orchestrator is mainly used for, it's like a central repository where you have control of multiple robots at a single instance. See, whenever you are working on hundreds of robots, you cannot go into each and every robot and configure each and every robot. There should be a place where you can go ahead and configure each and everything very easily and effortlessly. And also there should be a location where you can send details to all the robots at a single shot. For example, an asset or credential manager, or right now it's storage buckets. We do have storage buckets. Along with that, there are services that are provided by UiPath orchestrator, which again should be bought, like high density robots. How can you deploy high density robots? So if you ask me on the basic things, how exactly you need to see an orchestrator or a complete UiPath architecture, see it as like this. Orchestrator will be a manager and robots will be employees. Manager takes all the work or collects all the work and divides it into its employees, his employees or her employees. That's the same way, well, there will be an orchestrator admin who will monitor all the robots or all the jobs or all the assets, everything, who has the control of it. Not everyone has the control of orchestrator. Now, when we are checking with logs, whenever we are checking with orchestrator, we also need to have a worker robots or worker bots, which we can say as the bots that runs on a machine and gives the output and sends it back to the orchestrator, stating that whether this particular activity or this particular task is completed or not. So that's how it works. And how can you schedule? So what the main thing components comes when we are saying about architecture, how are you scheduling the bot, what are the available opportunities or what are the available activities that we have in UiPath, how can we easily schedule, how can we determine the utilization of the bot, all these things comes into picture. But if you are going in depth with solution architecture, I definitely recommend you to go and check UiPath solution architecture in UiPath architecture in its website directly. So it's simple. There will be a cloud. On that cloud, again, it's a server which hosts the orchestrator, and again there will be a different server which hosts the database, which connects both the servers or both the servers, and again there will be a different server which actually creates or use it for the bots. So this is like dividing the work individually. So if something fails, for example, if any bot fails, we will have a different machine immediately picked up and we can deploy the bots directly rather than waiting for that bot to come back online. That's how we can think of. Krishna, I hope I answered your question. Go ahead, give that in the comments as well. Let's see. Can you please explain a project? Let's see a simple project. Why should we go into the complex project? And let's explain. If you have completed level 3 certification, which is advanced developer training of UiPath, there is Acme portal, how to client security hash generation. That's one of the thing where people need to take the data from one website, update the data in another website. It's simple. That's a simple solution that we need to build. But how can you explain? So should you just explain that, okay, I have scraped the data from one website and placed it in the other website? Will that give you correct impression? For me, no. What exactly you need to mention is explain how are you able to solve the issues. For example, if there are selectors issue, how you are able to solve it, how you are able to use UiPath Explorer, and how you are able to build dynamic selectors. And when you are talking about, see, there is a difference between experienced person giving an interview and a non-experienced person giving an interview. Even I too faced it, because when I started giving interviews in the initial stages of my RPA career, I used to talk more about the selectors. I used to talk about how I scraped the data, how I placed it in another place. That's not what exactly an experienced person does. Now, what an experienced person does is he talks about the problem statement, how he was able to explain, how he was able to explore the problem statement, and how did he find the solution, and how many tools or how many applications did he automate. Did he automate only single web application, or did he automate multiple web applications, or am I able to automate a desktop application along with a web application? Am I able to integrate desktop with web applications? See, that's the difference. That's the complete different scenario, because until and unless you have the idea of how you exactly need to automate the things, you will not be able to speak about it. But if you want to speak about it, you just need to make some POCs. That's the only way how you can get it. Though you can listen all my videos, you can see how I do the things. But if you want to answer it properly to a person who already knows the things, and if who already is able to understand, if you are faking it or if you are saying it true, then you should actually do it and try. When I am saying it, do it and try, there will be few activities. For example, you cannot automate SAP because you will not have the application, and you cannot automate Citrix environments because again you need to purchase the licenses. How you need to do it? Take example of Citrix, or when we are saying about Citrix, take an example of VM again. If you are able to install a VM in your machine and try to automate that, that's closely equal to some Citrix automation or some image automation. Or if there is a PDF, then how can you use the PDF and how can you download the PDF? What are the PDF activities that are available? So talk more on the solutions than only on the activities. But if someone is really looking for only 1 or 2 years, one less than 1 year of experience, and he is looking only to check if you really know the activities or not, then they will just go ahead and ask you what is type into, what is data scraping, how will you do data scraping, what are PDF activities, how many PDF activities are there, what are joint PDF activities, how to pass the variables, how to pass the argument. These are the questions that you normally get if you are if you are looking for only less than 1 year of experience. That's how it works. Okay, I think I answered this question. Bidundyanath Behra. Talk more on the solution and talk more on the applications. How did you automate? If I answered your question, hit that like button and send me a message. Okay, like Money Prajwal Kata, like what are the additional supporting technologies like ELK, ITIL should I need to learn to stand out from the crowd? Okay. So if you want to really stand out from the crowd, what I would suggest you is, see, not every company actually looks for people who are actually standing out from the crowd. They are actually looking out for the people who can solve their existing problem. Okay, if you are saying that I have experience of I have 2 years of experience in artificial intelligence, but I don't have experience in RPA, will someone hire you? The answer is yes, but the condition is they are looking more into an artificial intelligence guy who knows some tools rather than looking for an RPA guy who is willing to learn automation, who is willing to learn artificial intelligence. Because people who already know artificial intelligence or something, they can work on Python, and if they can work on some advanced libraries, I think that's what people are looking for. Okay, my battery is dying. I know. I'm sure that it will go for next 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour, but let's continue with the questions. But if you are having some, so to answer again to the question, here comes an ambiguous question, like are you applying to some interview who are actually looking for this or who are not actually looking for this? Okay, so if you answer again, you need to question, or you need to, while interviewing, while getting interviewed, you need to ask them what tools and technologies are they looking for, what tools and technologies are they interested in, and do you have that skill. Before getting to an interview, if you are able to get these questions, then people who are already looking for an ELK stack and they want an RPA, they will definitely come to you. Because see, RPA is like very niche technology where people right now it's into boom, but if you want to get people in market, like you cannot get them because there are already lot of fake profiles already. But even though they are fake profiles, how can someone hire you? Because you can showcase your skill that you have already done that. But if you showcase it and if you don't perform, again it's a different story which I don't want to go into. Let's go into the next question. Hi Varalakshmi. Kapil Jagpat. Is it mandatory to use RE framework? It's a standard that we can say. If you are going into any standardized projects, you will obviously see RE framework or some version of RE framework that they have visited RE framework and updated their own modules, and they come back and utilize it, but obviously you will see it. So good to learn. And moreover, there are around 15 to 20 videos only on RE framework, and also there are live videos on RE framework from my channel. Go ahead and do watch them, because those will give you, like, if you are going for an interview, you need to have an experience, and if you need to have an experience, you need to try something. Go ahead and watch those interviews or watch those live sessions, because during those live sessions it's the same way how you code and I'll also code. I don't get everything from out of my mind. I just Google it and I just find out the things, how I am getting the data, how I am able to Even if it is a JSON, if I don't find something, if I don't get immediately, I just Google it and find out. And you will also know how to Google the things and how to use UiPath forum. That's one of the way. Okay, here one more question we have. It's really interesting question. Jay Prajapati says, how can we use global exception handler in RE framework? Okay, so what is global exception handler? See, whenever there is all the if in the main there is an exception that triggered which doesn't fall into any try catch block, then there should be some handler. So something like that is a global exception handler. There can be only one global exception handler in the project. That's point number one. And can we configure, how to configure it? Well, you need to invoke main file in global exception handler, and when there is an exception in the main block flow, you can set how many times it need to retry. For example, there is a config error, maybe the config file is open somewhere. Now in the global exception handler, you need to figure out what exactly the exception is, and you need to check, can we handle it? If it is a config that's already open and if you just need to close it, you can send a kill process activity to kill that Excel process and you can restart. So it's like a retry mechanism. You can obviously schedule how many times, or you can obviously set how many times you need to restart or reset that global exception handler. Well, saying that, I would like to create a video on top of it, but let's see how we can go with global exception handler. Okay, and if someone knows the answer, okay, I do have my things working. Let's go and check. So again, the question is, if you missed it, can we install UiPath in with orchestrator with no SQL database or Mongo? I think there is. Okay, yes, there was an issue from my end. I'm sorry for it. Yes, my video is buffering. I understand that. Let's continue. I'm live. Thank you so much. Currently, UiPath orchestrator supports only live. Thank you so much, Vinod. It works on Oracle also, it seems, Ramakrishna. Yes, I think there is some setting. I think there is connection strings that you need to provide, Ramakrishna. But Varalakshmi, we have config file. We get values from config files by asset secure credential feature other than the advantage getting asset. Okay, now Varalakshmi, here is a simple topic. I'm not sure how. Guys, I think I changed my network. I am in a stable network now. Hope you can see me. If not, please ping me up. Oh, this is creating troubles for me. I need to see how I need to change the data plan. Suggest me some good data plans. Let's, okay. Varalakshmi says, okay, here we go with the questions, then we can go. I just want to know if I am live or not. Just send me hi. Yes, no, we can have. Okay, so let me continue with the questions. How can we use orchestrator assets? What is the difference between config? So hearing you but cannot see you. Fine, hear my voice. We can. I hope I will be live online back, but let's hear my voice. Let you hear my voice. So what exactly is orchestrator? Oh, no, low battery. There is a problem with my internet connectivity. So what exactly is orchestrator assets? Now when we have one robot, we can have it in one place, or when the config is available, it's there in the package rather than being on one system. If we want to distribute it to multiple places, or if we want to distribute the same thing across multiple robots, what should we do? Can we just go ahead and keep it in the config? No, because when we keep it in the config, when we deploy a package, we cannot change them. But if we have it in the orchestrator assets and if we have it in the credentials, there is only one place that we need to change. Any robot that's attached with that orchestrator can go ahead and start with that process, or can receive those assets. If there is any kind of application or if there is any kind of robot that is attached to that particular orchestrator, and if if it can call, so there is one central repository. But if you keep the same things in the orchestrator in the config, whenever you change or whenever you want to change that particular variable which is constantly changing, you obviously need to republish the package, which is not recommended. That's the reason we will have that in the orchestrator. And the same goes with the credential. Credentials normally change every 30 days. So if you want to change it at one place, that's orchestrator. But if you keep the same things in the individual machine or in the config, yes, you cannot, you need to go ahead and publish them in all the machines that we have. Okay, I know that you are unable to see me, but let's go with the audio, or else what I could do is in next 2 minutes I will wait, and if it is not available I will come back live again in by live stream again. Let's see what do we have. Okay, Varalakshmi, I think I have answered your question. Ramakrishna, who will code for API and push fields to queue? I think normally when we send the data to queue, so here it is. If there is an application, and if that application need to start some robot, or if it need to send an API, it should be the application development team who need to do it. It's not the RPA team responsibility. But again, saying that if it is a small change and if you are cross functional team and if you are working on multiple technologies, business actually suggests you to do it. But again, they will never recommend you to make any change in the production. Only in the test environments they will be able to give you the access, but in the production they will never give you the access. So it's the developmental team who is actually maintain that application, not an RPA activity. UiPath developers only need to know code or develop API, or Java developers? Okay, Ramakrishna is again asks, well, UiPath developers need to know code, develop the APIs. So if you are having close to 4 to 5 years experience in the development, and then if you want to go back to RPA, yes, then you definitely people definitely expect you to know some API, and they will expect you to build some custom activities on API. But if they want to just know you how to call APIs, how to utilize APIs, then obviously you just need to use two activities, or use an activity called web services activity that is there in our HTTP request. Go ahead and check that out, that should be fine. Why do we need to invoke REFRAMEWORK to global exception for unknown errors? Also, kindly request you to make a video on different scenarios. I think, Jay, we can definitely make a video. That's definitely a thing in my bucket, but not getting time, but definitely I will do it. I have taken that point, Jay. Thank you so much. My buffering, please answer your question. What is TV Raju's question? I didn't see TV Raju's question. Raju, can you please send your question again? Maybe I missed it somewhere. I am checking with the details, but I am unable to get the details or get the things. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, TV Raju, go ahead and ask your question. Let's leave about the video, guys. Let's see with the audio. I think you can concentrate more. Ramakrishna, let's go.